Good evening, everybody. I am the Crypto Crow, and this may be a little bit of a longer video than a typical 15-minute where are they now, because there's actually quite a few things that I want to discuss and read and kind of share so that you kind of understand where my opinion is coming from. It seems that these, where are they now videos have been getting pretty popular. I've seen subscribership go up recently, which is a shock. And greatly appreciated. So thank you for joining me, and I'll try to keep this as brief as I can while being as informative as I can. Basically, we're going to be talking about Tron. As a forefront note, I am a holder of Tron. I've been an investor of Tron. I have not been accumulating Tron, but I do hold a fair sum of it. So, by me talking about this in the light that I will be this evening, it's not good for me either. But you know me, I'm just brutally upfront about, I kind of call it how I see it. And with, if you strip away all of the hype and all of the stuff that's being shoved down our throats as it pertains to Tron, it looks a little flimsy, and I'm going to explain why. So the first thing I'm going to go into are some positive notes. These here are the four major developments for Tron in the coming weeks and months of Q2 of 2019. Okay. BitTorrent speed. Number 2, institutional friendly multi-signature and account management. That's good stuff. Big deal. USD Tether Tron stablecoin launch on the Tron blockchain. Pretty big deal. Implementing privacy option for transactions. Cool. So this is all stuff that's expected to be seen come the second quarter of 2019. That all sounds promising. And I also want to preface a lot of this stuff by basically saying I don't know 100% what's true. This is really going to be for you to base your own opinion. I just kind of know how going through a lot of this stuff has made me feel. And to be quite honest with you, I feel like Tron is a house of cards. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that it can't be successful. But I do wonder how long that might be the case based off of the trend that I'm seeing as it relates to Tron. And a lot of people have been, so, a lot of people noticed recently that Cardano. So let's go over some of the hard facts here. Just the use case and what's actually going on the blockchain. So right now, Tron is at 0.023 cents, down 4% over the last 24 hours. Now, 24-hour transactional volume is about $18 million. So about $18 million worth of on-chain transactions going on. On Cardano, almost 55 million. Now, 24 hours, just over the past 24 hours, let's refresh this to see if it's changed at all. 9,299. This is Cardano now, because a lot of people like to compare Cardano with Tron because some of the numbers are fairly similar, although overall it's a pretty substantially different project, which I think a lot of people know. But if you just compare some of the numbers, there's some similarities. However, when you really break things down, it's pretty different. 9,299 active wallet addresses on the Cardano blockchain compared to almost 100,000 on Tron. There are no dApps on Cardano, really. There's not a whole lot happening. However, you've got almost 100,000 wallets, almost 10 times the number of wallets active on the Tron blockchain, but less than half of the transactional volume. So I felt that was kind of an interesting point. Cardano just in the past 3 months is up 48%. Tron over the last 3 months is up 4.84%. So just breaking down some of those hard figures, this is saying Tron's 2 years old, Cardano about a year old. So you're already kind of comparing apples to oranges just based off of the sheer numbers, okay? Now, there was obviously a lot of concern about Tron at ICO even, because a lot of people suspected Tron of plagiarizing a white paper. And, Tron's argument to that was, look, this is open source. We did borrow some ideas from other projects and found new uses for them and things of that nature. That's the nature of open source. However, Justin Sun had made, basically said something like, well, we've established a consensus that this simply did not happen. I don't know what happened, but what I do know is that Justin Sun is a billionaire marketing genius, and he's a powerhouse when it comes to marketing. And that is ultimately what's carried what was really kind of a bit of a joke early on into this, multi-million-dollar blockchain, which is ultimately just an Ethereum fork. I mean, let's face it, it's nothing groundbreakingly different outside of it does have a bit of an increased number of transactions per second over Ethereum, but overall, it's not anything all that remarkable. But I wanted to get into the BitTorrent situation a little bit, because I find this BitTorrent takeover, buyout, whatever you want to call it, interesting. And there's definitely a little more than meets the eye when it comes to this BitTorrent purchase. Indeed, Tron is truly one of the most scalable and fast blockchains, as stated on the project site. The Tron platform is capable of processing up to 2,000 transactions per second. In reality, the situation is slightly different. According to the Tron Explorer, the blockchain cryptocurrency is now processing 10 transactions per second on average, while the ceiling was actually observed at the level of 748 transactions per second. Still significantly better than Ethereum, cool, but that's about where it stops. Now, this goes into some of the other things. In particular, at the ICO stage, the coin was accused of mass plagiarism. Everybody knows that already. At the same time, after the takeover, which is the takeover of BitTorrent, massive layoffs of employees from BitTorrent started. Allegedly, the laid off employees did not agree with Tron's vision and methods of doing business and therefore decided to leave. This is a quote. Tron is a centralized scam. No one needs it and it will die soon. BitTorrent did not choose anyone. Tron bought the company and the entire team withdrew from the project because they did not want to associate with the scam. This is not even a hype, but a well thought out, fraudulent company to con the dummies and short-sighted beginner crypto investors, says blockchain expert Stepan Gershuni. Now, I was like, okay, who's this blockchain expert? Apparently, he's one of the creators of the Curation Network. Doesn't look to be widely used for much really right now. Where is the rest? This is his Twitter account. Stepan Gershuni. He's got 671 followers. He doesn't look extremely active. And then I was looking at his GitHub, and 27 repositories, 78 stars, 6 followers. I'm sorry, but regardless of what this gentleman's opinion is, I don't necessarily think I would consider him any more of a blockchain expert than the majority of people out, putting out articles all over the place about random stuff. He may have a belief one way or the other about Tron, but to call him an expert to support the claims made in an article that's talking down about a project with a lot of stuff that may or may not be true, I don't really think so. I'm not buying that part. However, I do believe that there is some truth to some of these claims. I mean, let's face it. Where there's smoke, there's typically a little bit of fire at the very least. BitTorrent's ICO itself fell under the fire of criticism. Some users blamed the project for massive purchases of their own tokens. During the sale, when investors had bought 28.44% of BitTorrent tokens, the buy button stopped working, which prevented many crypto enthusiasts from participating in the ICO. Participants saw a conspiracy in this fact, although they have no direct evidences. Now, this is a little confusing because I'm not even quite sure what the point is. So they're blaming the company for buying some of their own tokens. Now, if the buy button stopped working, is there evidence of the number of tokens being sold through during that period where the buy button wasn't working? Is that what they're referring to? Because it's not exactly supported or shown as evidence anywhere. So I know that there's a lot of Tron hate by a lot of people who are likely jealous of the blockchain successes. I mean, let's face it, you make this kind of money at ICO with a white paper that was lifted from other projects, and it doesn't seem like you put that much effort into it outside of marketing the thing. I can see a lot of other blockchain developers and other people out there just kind of shitty about it and wanting to just see this go away. Like, they don't deserve to exist. They don't deserve their success. Ultimately, from what I understand, it's been difficult to really find true use case information about the BitTorrent thing. But ultimately, from what I gather, the BitTorrent token is going to be a method for people to speed up their BitTorrent transactions by using the token, ultimately buying bandwidth, as I understand it. And there may be some additional use cases to that as well. Personally, I don't really see, I mean, for people that are using BitTorrent heavily, for wares or prawn or whatever the hell they're using it for, if they want to spend some money on tokens today in hopes the value increases and that speculation turns into a solid ROI or increases their ability to use those to increase their speeds on the BitTorrent platform. The thing of it is that we go into this, which is ex-BitTorrent executive says there's no way Tron will manage BitTorrent's token. The idea and the way this has all been sold to the public is as if the BitTorrent network was somehow going to run and operate completely on the Tron blockchain. And this guy, this Simon Morris, who's since left the company, basically said there was no way this was ever going to be possible, nor does he believe it will be. Period. Because the amount of transactional data and the amount of bandwidth necessary to run this kind of platform on a blockchain would require an insane amount more of ability than the Tron blockchain currently has. Even if you were talking about 1,000 transactions per second, which has not been shown to be possible with the Tron blockchain yet, that's still not enough. This guy's basically saying we would shut the whole thing down. We would shut Tron down if they tried to run this on that blockchain. Now, you hear all the bull spit out there. Oh, this does 10,000 transactions a second. It's all crap. We're going to melt Tron, literally destroy it. I mean, this guy is like, further, BreakerMag reports that according to Morris, there's little reason to believe the other claims about BitTorrent's Tron-based token BTT. As Morris allegedly described Tron, it's basically a marketing machine layered in a very thin veneer of technology. Now, this article, this was back in January of 2019, so earlier in the year. But the approach that bothered me was the very sort of Trumpian approach. If you get caught in a lie, the answer is you double down on the lie. It was the endless doubling down on lies that made me think it wasn't going to be a fit. Morris left BitTorrent in July last year, reportedly after concluded that he would not be able to develop any trust in relationships with Tron executives. BreakerMag reports that when Morris confronted Sun about Tron's allegedly plagiarized code and white paper, Sun replied, "We have come to consensus that this did not happen, and we have moved on." Ultimately, this guy seemed really pissed about just the way everything was marketed, the way everything was presented to the public, and that it was ultimately a lot of smoke and mirrors to drive up the, this perception of this BitTorrent token. Now, there's more to that, but ultimately I want all of you guys who have some time to go out there and read. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible while giving you guys a lot of food for thought. Now, this is from today. This is from 7 hours ago. Trdot wallet's address balance drops by a whopping 99% in 2 days. Community members cry foul. According to research published by Longhash, Trdot wallet's address balance dropped by 99% in 2 days and reached $775 million in Tron tokens on February 13th. Excuse me. Trdot wallet is a cryptocurrency wallet that launched on November 16, 2018, claiming that it was created and supported by Tron. Moreover, Longhash's research posted a graph of TRX's price versus the wallet balance from November 18 to 2019. So you can see that behind me. Now, the graph showed that the Trdot wallet reached a maximum capacity of 1.2 billion Tron on February 4th of 2019 before slipping to 700 million Tron. One Tron address stood out due to the massive Tron stored in it, and Longhash hypothesized that this could be where investors' money was being stored. It was observed that the Tron balances in the wallets started decreasing after March 18th. The research further stated the Tron balance of the address dropped from 685 million Tron to approximately 2 million Tron in 2 days. That's a total withdrawal of $15 million based on the current Tron price. Upon further analysis, it was noted that the 2 million Tron that was withdrawn was split into 10 different wallets with approximately 68 million Tron in every wallet except one. The chart attached below gives a detailed look at those 10 wallets, and you can see the data there. I don't know what to think of this. For one, I'm thinking, okay, let's say these guys did have all this Tron in a wallet and they decided to break it up amongst 10 different wallets. I guess I don't understand why that's a big deal. There's obviously something to this that I'm maybe not privy to or I'm not aware of. But this was a treat by Dovey Wan. This Tron wallet or Trdot wallet has been super popular among tier 3-4 cities in China recently, which is a pure Ponzi. The recent Tron price pump seems to be explainable. So, look, there's so much negativity around what is notably a marketing powerhouse. But again, I can't help but feel that Tron may be a house of cards. And when you're trying to compare Cardano with Tron, in my opinion, they're the polar opposite of each other. Tron is flimsy tech with brilliant marketing, powerful marketing, where Cardano is brilliant tech with virtually no to little marketing. Outside of Charles hopping on YouTube every couple days or so with an AMA on his own, there's really no marketing for Cardano outside of speculation and news releases on the latest updates and things. They're not trying to take over the world right now. They're trying to establish a project that will really enable them to do that without having to spend exorbitant amounts of money to relay a message. And that's the thing. A lot of people that spend big bucks on marketing, typically that's for one of two reasons. Either one, they're trying to establish market share in an extremely competitive market and they're a little late to the game and they're trying to take market share from people who are already more established. Okay, fair enough. The other side to that is the more money you pump into something, it's almost like if you tell a lie enough times, it becomes the truth. And so some people market crap, kind of like the pet rock. Back in the day, I don't even remember, was it the 70s? This genius guy made millions of dollars by selling rocks packaged as pets to kids. Is Tron a pet rock? I don't really know, but I do think that there's a lot of negativity going on. Why don't you see a lot of the same negativity around every other blockchain that's been doing well? Why is it all seeming to focus around Tron for some reason? Something is going on here, and it makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Am I going to run out and sell my Tron? No, I'm not, because I believe that these guys are, even if this were some big sham of some kind, even if this were just pure marketing and a lack of tech, they've established such a dominance in the market that I still believe that they're just kind of faking it until they make it. But at what point do they make it? What is the milestone that they need to reach to have considered themselves successful in establishing their self-proclaimed Web 3.0? What else do they need to do? They've got some big updates coming over the next couple months, so we'll see how this plays out. If some of this stuff comes to fruition, well, I would suggest all of it had better come to fruition, or they're probably going to have some real issues. And I really don't care about China's list, even though I have it here. This whole list to me is kind of bunk. Tron came in second after overtaking Ethereum in February. Big deal. I had the Oh yeah, that's it. So those are the 4 upgrades. So again, BitTorrent speed, institutional friendly multi-signature and account management, USD Tron stablecoin, and implementing privacy options for transactions. Look, at the price that Tron is sitting at right now at 2 cents, their supply is huge. And I also believe that when a coin is at 2 cents or it's sub 10 cents, it doesn't have to do that much for people to see a significant return on investment. I believe that whether it's the kiddies, the newcomers, whoever it is, the big wig investors, doesn't really matter who it is. If Tron gets up to even 25 cents over the course of the next year, it's still a very prominent investment. The question at that point is, what do I think could outperform Tron over the next year? Cardano, perhaps? I believe so. But again, there are a lot of Tron holders out there hoping for the best. I just hope nobody else sneezes around this project. We'll see what happens, but that's my Where Are They Now for 2019 and Tron. I'll do another one here in a few months, and we'll see what kind of progress has been made. Till then, crow your coins, and thanks for joining me.